Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Toronto Debating Society on Tuesday, January the 24th, 2012. My name is Brigitte, and I'll be presenting the education session on the impromptu speech. What is the impromptu speech? It is a speaking exercise which helps us to think on our feet and speak off the cuff. How is it done? Usually, the impromptu speech organizer has prepared a list of topics based on a theme, and each topic is written on a piece of paper. The person doing the impromptu speech picks a piece of paper, reads out the topic, and right there, ladies and gentlemen, has to make a mini speech of only 1 whole minute on that topic. Not an easy feat, as many of you who have bravely tried to do that exercise. How do you, on the spot, pick the relevant ideas that are swirling in your head, and as soon as you read the topic, present your thoughts in a coherent fashion? One approach is to start talking about the topic, shoot the breeze, and whatever comes to your mind, and then stops mid-sentence when the alarm goes off. Today, however, we want to encourage the other approach. When we present a regular speech, we have an introduction where we state what the topic is, where we stand on that topic, a body where we develop 2 or 3 arguments, and a conclusion where we encapsulate the whole message so that people remember what you have said. Now imagine doing that in a whole minute. Imagine the following scenario. Dave is a young and enthusiastic recent graduate who has just been hired by a company called Forever Yours. The company specializes in high-end sports clothing and is planning to launch a new line of clothing for an upcoming event, and has hired Dave as a new marketing assistant manager. On a bright Monday morning of his 2nd week at work, Dave is just waiting at the elevator to go to the 25th floor when suddenly Victor, the brand manager, appears right beside him and gets into the elevator with him. Victor notices the red tie of Dave and says, "Well, I have to come with a brand color for my new product line." So he asks Dave, what do you think about red as being the brand color for the new line of clothing?
Well, Victor, I'm glad you asked. There's a few reasons why I chose to wear this red tie today. First and foremost, it's really culturally sensitive because red is often worn during Chinese New Year and around that season because it helps ward away evil spirits. And of course, it is one of the primary colors. It's considered a very warm color, and it's very welcoming. It's also very patriotic to be wearing a red color. So I think it's really important that you associate your brand with a color such as the one I chose for my tie today. If it was good enough to be the tie I chose, it's definitely good enough for our product. So in conclusion, it comes from strength, passion, it's patriotic, and it's really culturally sensitive. I'm glad you asked, Victor.
Thank you, Dave. Now, Victor is impressed by Dave's enthusiasm when he hears the color red. He goes into his office and sits down, and there Michelle, the marketing manager, knocks on the door. Michelle is wearing a beautiful green scarf. Victor is dazzled by the color. Now, Michelle wanted to come and let Victor know about the new cappuccino coffee machine. But Victor stops and asks her, "Michelle, what do you think of the color green as our brand color for the new line of clothing?"
The color green for our new product line.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't really match the cappuccino machine that we have sitting in our office, but that's okay because the cappuccino color it's a beautiful color, and it's symbolic of spring. And well, even though red is associated with the liberal party. This is associated with an up-and-coming political party, the Green Party, and so perhaps we should consider that. Maybe we should go have a coffee and talk about it.
I think the 1 minute is off, don't you think? What was Michelle's message? Was there any emphatic idea about why Victor should choose green? What do you think? So Victor agrees to go with Michelle to the cappuccino machine. And who do they see at the coffee machine? Dave, with his red tie and holding a cup of coffee. So now Victor is thinking, he's still dazzled by that color green. He does like Dave's speech about the color red. But anyway, he asked Michelle, why do you think green could be a better color than red?
It's after the coffee. Green, Victor, is symbolic of growth. And it's symbolic of new beginnings. And we have a product line called Simply Forever, Forever Yours.
Forever Yours.
Forever Yours. And when we think about Forever Yours, we must think about today, but not only today, but tomorrow and the future. And if we're thinking about that, what's a better way to come up with an image than a sprout that comes up in springtime and blossoms into a beautiful tree by the time fall comes, and then it goes into hibernation. And so all of that can be symbolized by the birth and the purity of the color green.
Well done. Now I'm thinking, yeah, green could be the right color. Yes, Forever Yours, green. Yes, I think I'm going to go with the color green. Now, thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Dave. I would like to ask you for your feedback. What did you think of Dave's impromptu speech about the color red? Was there any clear idea?
Yes.
Was there any conclusion? When you walk out of the door, could you remember a message about the color red from Dave?
Yes, it was excellent.
Okay. And how about Michelle's the first impromptu speech, but the second impromptu speech, Michelle's first mini speech about the color green. What did you think about that one?
Scattered.
It was scattered. And isn't that many times the way we approach our impromptu speeches here at the Debating Society? Not all of us, but it's very tempting. And what about the second speech that Michelle gave, the final one? What did you think about that?
She had enough time to brush up on that presentation.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
It was excellent.
We have organized a speech. We have organized this little scenario, but it is very difficult. Like when you're given a topic, to right on the spot, to be able to talk on the topic, because there's so many ideas, and what do you pick first, right? So definitely the first thing to do, if we have a whole minute, the first 10 seconds should be the introduction, right? The reading and one statement where you stand related to that topic. The next 40 seconds, then you develop 2 ideas. Don't put too many. And if you've got a topic, narrow it down to just a couple of aspects, or one aspect, but develop it, but 2 ideas. And then finally, for the last 10 seconds, then you conclude your table topic. Now, I will ask you to do a little exercise. Now imagine there's another brand manager, and her name is Anita. She is jazzy and feisty, and she wants to do things different. She says, no, we don't want one color, we want 2 colors for our brand color. So now I'll ask you to write on a little piece of paper, what's your introduction? Pick any 2 colors. What is your introduction? Give me a couple of ideas, and what is your final conclusion? All right, let's pick a volunteer.
I'll try it.
Jerry, thank you. Yeah, let's give the encouragement to Jerry.
All right.
Anita, this new line that we're looking for some colors, and we're looking for a little, some catchphrase that people can remember. Now, I understand that what we're looking for is something to go with our new line of power tools. I know there's Black & Decker, and there's all these various ones. Well, I want a couple of colors that really talk to power tools. And I'm thinking of black and blue. Instead of Black & Decker, we're going to go with black and blue. And, our catchphrase, see it now. There's, He-Man like with a big skill saw, and another guy with a big, and then on the screen, black and blue, we're thinking of you.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, can I have your feedback? Was there an introduction?
Yes.
Yes? What were the couple of ideas that Jerry talked about?
Appealing to men.
Yes. And then the catchphrase at the end, that was really good.
Yeah.
So I'll ask for one more volunteer and then I'll finish. Any more volunteers who would like to come over and then give it a try? Anybody? Okay, yes. Would you like to come over?
This is
Sure.
for like a name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Anita. I was thinking about colors and everything, and I noticed that a lot of companies, they tend to use very strong and bold colors. And predominantly, I've noticed lately the colors black, white, and red have been popping up a lot. Those are actually what I like to think of as fascist colors. Just think about it. The colors I've been thinking of actually for our new whole product lineup is cyan and turquoise. Really pastel colors, or really kind of like just weird looking colors. The reason why is that it'll appeal towards the colorblind. And I don't know how many other companies actually think about that. They just think about colors that'll appeal towards people. If we really go for sort of like a crazy type of color scheme, the colorblind will appreciate it, and then we can actually point that out because we care about the colorblind. That's a market that no one else has thought about. Thanks,
Thank
Anita.
you. Thank you. Well, that was different. So again, was there an introduction? What did you do you have a clear idea of what the message is? Yes?
Yes.
All right. So we will have an impromptu session later on, and so if you can keep that in mind. How do you get better? Practice. Maybe stand in front of the mirror. Have a little a timer, 1 minute timer. Try to keep your introduction to 10 seconds, like the 40 seconds for the development of the body, and 10 seconds for the conclusion. Now you can see what is the value of having an organized mini impromptu speech. Where else can you use this? Maybe, gentlemen, if you want to buy that new stereo and you want to convince your spouse. So in 1 minute speech, maybe you can convince her, or maybe convince her not to buy another dress. Where else can you practice? By joining the Toronto Debating Society, where every week we have an impromptu speech session, which will be the next segment of our meeting.